time to become a lightweight world champion. I want to hold that belt too.
How that fight goes, you know, you gotta think that the striking department, it leans toward Ilia.
Ilia Topuria isn't just chasing gold. He's coming to bury Charles Oliveira's legacy at UFC 317.
Someter a Makachev, no sé si quieres doblar la apuesta con Oliveira y someterlo.
No sé, con Oliveira la verdad que lo que sea menos doloroso para él, eso es lo que haré porque me cae muy bien.
Ilia Topuria didn't hold back when he sent a chilling message to Charles Oliveira ahead of their clash at UFC 317. With steely eyes and a calm demeanor, the undefeated contender promised nothing short of destruction, stating he wants to end Oliveira's career. The statement set social media on fire and made it clear, this isn't just another fight, this is war.
Now it's time to become a lightweight world champion. I want to hold that belt too.
No le he faltado, he dicho la verdad, tiene 10 derrotas, no he dicho otra cosa. Tiene 10 derrotas, 5 por knockout, 4 por sumisión, 1 por decisión. Dice que es la división más difícil que hay. Cuando él estaba peleando en 145, hasta Cub Swanson le ha metido una paliza. Ahí se tiene que acabar la conversación. Algo que no pudo conseguir en 145 libras, lo consiguió en 155, que se convirtió en campeón del mundo. Entonces, ¿por qué esa división es más difícil que de la que yo vengo? O sea, no le encuentro ninguna lógica, y por eso dije también que parece que no se ha leído ni la hoja de un periódico. Así que si eso es una falta de respeto, yo no sé desde cuándo decir la verdad es una falta de respeto. Yo nunca mezclo lo personal con lo profesional, ¿verdad? No tengo ningún problema con...
Topuria's rise has been nothing short of spectacular. Undefeated and brimming with confidence, he's developed a reputation for speaking boldly and fighting even harder. His move up to the lightweight division brought questions about whether his devastating knockout power would carry over, but the man they call El Matador doesn't seem concerned. In fact, he feels stronger than ever at 155 pounds and warns that Oliveira won't be able to handle what's coming. According to him, just one clean shot could be all it takes to finish the Brazilian, claiming he feels so powerful that Oliveira's chin might explode on impact.
With this extra 10 pounds, how much better do you think you'll be able to perform inside the octagon? Because I would imagine physically that's got to take a toll on you. As good as your performances were, and they were spectacular, but as good as your performances were, your body could not have been operating at 100%.
100%. You are going to see me at 155 that I'm going to touch someone and I'm going to take his lights out. Even if I don't need to touch his chin. I just touch his head and it will explode. I feel so powerful at that weight class. So powerful, so stable in the ground. Like, do you want to wrestle? Let's wrestle. No problem. And I have the gas tank for 5 days, not 5 rounds.
From Topuria's perspective, this fight represents more than a title opportunity. It's a declaration that a new generation has arrived. He sees himself as the face of modern MMA, a fighter capable of dominating not just featherweights, but lightweights too. With the vacant lightweight belt now in play, Topuria sees this moment as his true calling, stating that he's ready to prove he's the best fighter in the world.
Bueno, en primer lugar agradecerle a Charles, la verdad, por haber aceptado el reto, ¿no? Algo que Islam no hizo y tiene que pagar el precio por Islam. Me da mucha pena por Charles, pero bueno, al final del día es mi trabajo. Voy a cumplir otro sueño más que siempre tuve, que era convertirme en campeón de otra división más, por lo que el resultado será el mismo de siempre, salir victorioso y seguir con el invicto.
The anticipation around UFC 317's main event is electric, and even other UFC stars have weighed in with their thoughts. Sean O'Malley, currently preparing for his own title fight at UFC 316, couldn't resist sharing his opinion. He spoke for many fans when he admitted to being torn, his heart rooting for Oliveira, but his brain leaning toward Topuria. O'Malley's take highlights the emotional and tactical conflict that makes this such a compelling fight. Oliveira's legacy is undeniable, but Topuria's momentum is impossible to ignore.
Who do you have in Topuria versus Oliveira?
I wanted to see Topuria versus Islam.
I know.
Those were the
we all did.
Those are the two #1 pound for pound guys in the world. In my opinion, that was the fight to make, but they both wanted to move up. Heart says Charles. My brain says Ilia.
Yet despite the waves of hype surrounding Topuria, some remain cautious. UFC commentator and podcast host Joe Rogan reminded fans that Oliveira is not someone to be underestimated. Speaking during the UFC 316 broadcast, Rogan praised Oliveira's strength and technical abilities.
Oftentimes in the UFC, you'll see guys when they go up in weight, they become their best version. Like Charles Oliveira is a great example of that. Like he fought for 145 for a while rather, and he fought very well, but never really hit the strides that he hit when he went up to 155.
He's on a roll now.
Oh my God, he's so good.
He's on a roll.
He's so good.
And he you know, people take different approaches. They talk smack, get fights. You know, there's whole different ways to do it. He's so respectful. And so nice.
Yeah.
Rogan pointed out that this is not a walk in the park for Topuria. This is one of the most elite lightweights in the game. Rogan emphasized that the matchup is far from predictable, describing it as an outstanding fight for the vacant title and a real test for the young Spaniard.
He was a guy who was kind of known as a guy who fell apart.
A quitter a little bit. Yeah.
Cub Swanson knocked him out. A bunch of guys had beat him.
Max Holloway had like that weird neck thing going on.
Not gonna mess around on Oh no. Oh, looks like an injury.
Then everybody was calling him a quitter, all this, and it's like,
and he just turned a corner and then became the baddest in the weight class.
Yeah.
And not just the baddest in the weight class, but one of the best in the sport. When he knocked out Chandler, he beat the shit out of Gaethje. When he was putting it on people, you got to go, God damn, he's good.
I'm curious to see if he comes back and gets back to that Islam fight.
Ali Abdelaziz, the influential manager from Team Khabib, also offered his insight, and he leaned strongly toward Topuria. In a chat with Submission Radio, he confidently said that Topuria would defeat Oliveira, and even predicted a knockout. Still, he didn't sugarcoat things. He acknowledged Topuria's past struggles, particularly when he nearly lost to Jai Herbert and had to grind through tough fights against Youssef Zalal and Josh Emmett.
Yeah, I think he will knock Charles out. I do. Stylistically, I think he'll beat Charles. But you never know. He almost lost Jai Herbert. Almost got knocked out by Jai Herbert. Like, MMA is crazy. You know, he win 5.
MMA is wild. Yeah.
He win 5 rounds. What's his name? 3 round Yusuf Belal. He won 5 rounds. What's his name? The guy from Alpha Male, Josh Emmett. You know, but in a way, like if you think if Islam fighting these guys will go to 5 rounds, Islam or 3 rounds? Of course not.
I think it's also because, you know, it's impressive that he was able to finish Volkanovski and Max the way that he did, right? And I think that's why the people not impressed.
Abdelaziz's stance was clear. Topuria has the edge in style, but anything can happen in MMA. He knows how quickly a fight can change, and his assessment balanced confidence with a reality check.
Amazing fighter. He have dynamite in both hands. He can grapple, he can wrestle. He's a great, if I didn't say that, I would be lying. Ilia Topuria is a great fighter, and I think he will make his legacy. When he defends his title 4 times, he can start talking like Islam. Islam don't even talk, you know? But he's talking like he defended his title 5 rounds, and guess what? I guess the day is an age we live in, and this is how you become more marketable. And I'm not saying he's not going to defend his title for 4 times, maybe 10 times, you know? But let's see what happens.
On the other side of the octagon, Charles Oliveira isn't short on confidence either. He views this as a golden opportunity, not just to reclaim his belt, but to remind the world who he is. In an interview with Full Violence, Oliveira acknowledged Topuria's skills, calling it a great fight. But he didn't mince words when it came to his prediction. He plans to knock Topuria out, plain and simple. For Oliveira, this fight isn't about proving himself. He believes his career already speaks volumes. He's not underestimating his opponent, but he's certain of the outcome.
I'm fighting for my dreams. Do you remember what he said?
Ele falou alguma coisa na rede social, tipo, pedindo desculpa pra você, pedindo desculpa que vai ter que fazer o que ele tem que fazer, mas ele tá lutando pelos sonhos dele.
Cara, na realidade, a gente já estamos lá dentro, vai fazer 15 anos, né? Eu já vi muitos desses caras que falaram muita coisa, que eu desisto, que eu vou perder, que vai me nocautear, que vai finalizar, e aí chega na hora e eles não fazem nada. Então, como eu falei, eu respeito todos eles, esse é mais um cara que eu respeito, mas do mesmo jeito que ele tem sonhos, eu também tenho sonhos, tenho promessas, então eu vou buscar isso aí o tempo inteiro.
Sending a serious warning to Ilia Topuria, Charles stated that he has nothing to prove to anyone, pointing to his extensive skill set and accomplished fight resume. He acknowledged this upcoming bout as a valuable opportunity, but made it clear that he plans to knock Topuria out. Oliveira emphasized that this isn't just talk. His warning is real.
Ele é grande lutador, mas eu não preciso provar mais nada pra ninguém de quem eu sou, o que eu já fiz dentro do cage. Essa outra chegou na oportunidade gigantesca. Eu vou nocautear esse cara. Essa é real.
But he's gonna knock this guy out.
Michael Chandler, who has fought Oliveira twice, added another layer of perspective. He knows firsthand how difficult it is to beat Oliveira. Chandler lost to him by knockout in their first fight at UFC 262 and dropped a unanimous decision in their rematch at UFC 309. His take was nuanced. While he believes the striking advantage lies with Topuria, he refuses to count Oliveira out. Chandler respects Topuria's power and accuracy, but he stressed that Oliveira is dangerous everywhere. Having fought him twice, Chandler knows just how tough and adaptable the Brazilian can be.
Man, it's tough. You don't bet against freaking Charles Oliveira because he's so dang good everywhere, and he's a really hard guy to beat. With that being said, Ilia Topuria's got some crazy power in his hands and crazy accurate strikes. So it'll be very interesting to see how that fight goes. You know, you gotta think that the striking department leans toward Ilia, but Charles is tough everywhere, man. Obviously, fighting him twice, I know.
Moving on, while Charles Oliveira has raised concerns about Ilia Topuria moving up to lightweight to face him, Justin Gaethje sees it differently. Gaethje praised Topuria's impressive performance in the featherweight division, particularly his dominant win over Max Holloway, and acknowledged his confidence and ability to move up as a positive step. He added that this move makes sense, noting that every great fighter has taken similar risks in their career, and Topuria is simply following that path.
I mean, there's just no way to say. I think him being a featherweight coming up to lightweight is not a factor. I think we saw that with Max Holloway. The only guy that put me to sleep was a featherweight, so that shit don't work. It's crazy. It's a crazy game. I think the confidence that he has right now is probably the what he's got going for him the most. I think his ability to stay in position and create leverage and power in his shots and move forward. You know, he moves forward in great position. I think that, like I said earlier, all the champions are moving forward, you know, for a significant amount of time. So I think he's a force to be reckoned with. Absolutely. You know, he's very dangerous, very confident, and we'll see how it goes. Styles make matchups. We'll see what kind of matchup he gets.
Sharing his prediction, Arman Tsarukyan backed Ilia Topuria to win. He acknowledged that the fight would be tougher than many expected, but highlighted Topuria's exceptional finishing ability. Tsarukyan believes Ilia has what it takes to stop Charles Oliveira and is confident in his victory.
Очень тяжелый бой, но все-таки я думаю, что Topuria сможет
While Arman acknowledged the possibility of Charles Oliveira defeating Ilia, he confidently asserted that Ilia possesses far superior boxing and wrestling skills. He also pointed out weaknesses in Oliveira's style, noting that despite Charles's danger in certain positions, Ilia's strength and takedowns could give him a clear advantage. Arman believes Topuria would have little trouble taking him down.
Да, конечно, Оливейра очень опасный, с любой позиции может душить. Но просто перевести его, Оливейра не такая вольная борьба. Допустим, моя работа, да, я люблю переводить. То есть я его перевожу, и он может контратаку какую-то сделать, там, душающую взять, как он взял меня там. То есть это возни не будет. Топурия просто будет работать, боксировать, не будет пытаться его переводить, так как у него намного лучше бокс, чем у Оливейры. А у Оливейры, мне кажется, недостаточно вольной борьбы, чтобы перевести Топурия.
Sharing his thoughts on the fight, Adam Catterall pointed out that it will likely be a close contest and highlighted the impressive fighting career of Charles Oliveira. He also noted that things might be stacked against Ilia Topuria, pointing out that if Jai Herbert was able to drop Topuria, then Oliveira, being naturally the bigger and more experienced fighter, could have an even greater chance of doing the same.
Because, listen, it's a close fight because Charles Oliveira is the former champion. He has got record after record after record on his ledger. He's been there, done it, and got the t-shirt. And he is the naturally bigger guy coming into this particular fight. And there are things that go against Ilia Topuria. Let's talk about the things that go against Ilia Topuria coming into this, right? He has fought at 155 before, and he did it in London, didn't he, against Jai Herbert? We saw that fight ourselves. And if Jai Herbert can drop Ilia Topuria, you better back your bottom dollar that Charles Oliveira can do it.
Calling Charles Oliveira a reckless fighter, Adam highlighted the strong belief system that drives Oliveira and elevates his performance in every fight. He noted that Charles has the ability to take risks and make the fight exciting, pushing the pace in ways few can. Adam questioned whether Ilia Topuria can truly handle and overcome such an unpredictable and fearless opponent.
Charles Oliveira, in order to be so amazing and become the fans' favourite, is a reckless fighter. That's what makes him so exciting. He is reckless. He is willing to take shots in order to dish shots out. He's willing to put himself in compromising positions in order to get the submissions. He's willing to do all of those things in order to become successful. And 9 times out of 10 recently, not earlier on in his career when he was a 145er, but now he is absolutely excelling in those types of exchanges, mainly because of a belief system that he's got in his own ability.
Yeah.
Can you be that reckless with a man that very rarely presents an opportunity? Yes.
Continuing his review and breakdown, Adam Catterall noted that technically, Ilia Topuria is the more polished fighter. Speaking on the tactical aspects of the matchup, he emphasized that the outcome will heavily depend on Topuria's approach, whether he allows Charles Oliveira to be his unpredictable, dangerous self, or turns the bout into a clinical performance. Ultimately, Adam believes it all comes down to Topuria's game plan.
We've seen him dropped, as I've just said, against Jai Herbert, but look what happened. He tightened up, he didn't present another opportunity, and then he nailed Jai Herbert in the very next round and took him out. So, when I look at the technicalities of each guy, Ilia Topuria is the better guy.
Oof.
I genuinely believe that. I think technically he is the better guy.
Oof.
Will he present the opportunities for Charles to be Charles, or will it be a clinic?
Meanwhile, Javier Mendez and Tim Welch have also shared their thoughts on the matchup. Javier acknowledged that Ilia Topuria has a higher chance of winning, but admitted he's personally rooting for Charles Oliveira to come out on top. He agreed with Tim Welch's assessment that Topuria is the kind of fighter who's extremely difficult to beat, making this a tough challenge for Oliveira.
Hard puncher, boxer, low stance versus Charles Oliveira, who kind of stands in a high Muay Thai stance, marches forward with knees. If someone gave you $100 grand to bet on that fight, who would you bet?
Ilia.
By knockout?
I don't know, but I would if someone gave me $100 grand and but if you're asking me who I would want to win, I'll put Charles. I'll put my money on Charles.
Yeah, that's who you'd want.
Yes, that's who I'd want.
Yeah.
But if you'd give me 100 to make 100, if it's that type of even, like you get 100, you can make 100. I would put Ilia.
Yeah.
He feels he cannot be beaten.
Yeah, he really does. I mean, gosh, you know as well as anybody, like the confidence is. That's a big one. If one fighter...
Javier further noted that Ilia Topuria is an extremely dangerous fighter. Breaking down the matchup, he explained that Charles Oliveira tends to stand upright, which could give Topuria a perfect opportunity to land a powerful shot to the chin, similar to what he did against Volkanovski. Mendez also pointed out that if Oliveira doesn't effectively use his knees or front kicks up the middle to create space, he may struggle to secure takedowns against Topuria.
Very, very confident, and they can back it up. I mean, that's a dangerous, dangerous dude.
Yes, very, very dangerous. Very, very dangerous.
Why else do you think you would pick Ilia over Charles? What is it about his skill set that you like more?
It's basically because Charles is going to stand in there upright, like you're saying, and when he gets inside, he's going to use that boxing, and Charles' head's going to be up, and Ilia's got a really good way of connecting with that chin on the inside. Really, really nice, just like what he did with Volk. And I think if Charles doesn't get him up the middle with knees or front kicks up the middle, he's going to have a hard time with his boxing against him, and he's going to have a hell of a time trying to take him down.
Javier also pointed out that this fight presents an opportunity where Ilia Topuria has the upper hand. However, he also acknowledged that Charles Oliveira has the potential to surprise the MMA world with his exceptional skill set. Javier went on to highlight several of Oliveira's strengths, such as his dangerous submissions, creative striking, and unpredictable style, which could play a key role in securing a win if used effectively.
It's going to be one of those where Ilia's got more opportunities than Charles does, but Charles can surprise us with his length, and up the middle would be really, really well suited for him, and the kicks too. Body, head type thing, low, high.
The predictions and takes keep building the hype. Fans are split, experts are cautious, and the fighters themselves are supremely confident. Topuria enters with the hunger of a man on the verge of greatness, someone who's never tasted defeat and doesn't expect to start now. He believes this is his time, and he's not shy about saying it. Oliveira, meanwhile, sees a chance to silence the doubters and shut down the latest hype train. One thing is certain, whether it's the seasoned former champ or the undefeated wrecking ball, someone's path will change forever in that octagon. Tell us in the comments below, who do you think takes the win at UFC 317? And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more Fight Night action.